The new Motorola Edge Plus has a lot to enjoy. Not only is it Motorola's first really premium phone to be released in the United States in 18 months, but it's the 2022 Edge Plus also featuring a large battery, a high refresh rate display, multiple back cameras, and is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 processor. If those specs seem similar, it's because Samsung and OnePlus phones have virtually identical ones. So in today's video, I'll tell you all you need to know about the Motorola Edge Plus 2022. Before we go into details, please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos are released. Without further ado, let's get started. The Motorola Edge Plus 2022 is the company's flagship smartphone for 2022. It's also the second generation of the Edge Plus series after the initial model in 2020, as there was no Plus variation in 2021. While it retains many of the core features of the vanilla Motorola Edge 2021, it incorporates numerous substantial and much-needed enhancements that should help it compete with rival flagships. The real kicker, though, is the fresh new price tag that comes with those changes. The Motorola Edge Plus has some distinctive features which I will now dive into. First is its design. The Motorola Edge Plus 2022 does not emanate a high-end appearance from a phone with a premium pricing. Motorola's Edge Plus is made of polycarbonate, which gives it a cheap feel. If you position the phone next to a Galaxy S22 or an iPhone 13 model, the contrast is much more evident. Yes, Gorilla Glass is used on the front and rear of the phone to protect it from harm, but the Edge Plus lacks a premium feel. You'll also want to keep the Motorola Edge Plus away from water. The phone's IP52 water-resistant rating means it can withstand a splash, but don't expect it to survive an accidental dunk. IP67 and IP68 are generally the standard water resistance ratings for phones in this price range, so Motorola's reasoning here is a mystery. My review unit's Cosmos Blue color is appealing to me. The phone is also available in Stardust White. It provides the Motorola Edge a great shiny appearance while without attracting too many fingerprints. I also like the Motorola Edge Plus's front-firing speakers. They are nice and loud without causing distortion as the volume is increased. They're also positioned such that they don't block the sound when holding the phone in landscape mode. Other Motorola design decisions, on the other hand, are just strange. The phone's vertically stacked rear camera array is flat against the back on all sides, but elevated at the top and the bottom. When you place the Motorola Edge Plus on its back, it wobbles. The Motorola also positioned the volume and power buttons on the right side of the phone, too near together. Next is the display. While the design of the Edge Plus 2022 is dated, Motorola has made some welcome improvements to the display. Despite a slight reduction in size and resolution, the result is a more visually appealing panel as a result of a technological shift. The diagonal display is 6.7 inches, which is 0.1 inch less than the 6.8 inch panel on the 2021 Edge, but the same size as the original Edge Plus. The adjustment has had no effect on the resolution, which remains FHD+, with a pixel density identical to prior Edge phones, while the aspect ratio has altered to 20:9. Some flagships may have 1440p resolution, but it is more than enough for a screen of this size. The Moto Edge Plus 2022 display has enough pixels to display web pages, social networking apps, and high-quality video content. The most notable change is the reintroduction of OLED displays, as non-Plus Edge phones had relied on LCD screens. This results in brighter colors and improved contrast on the Edge Plus. It can also play HDR10+ content. There's no denying that it's a more pleasing display in terms of dynamic range and saturation. The screen is also quite bright and simple to see both inside and outdoors. Another thing to look into is the camera. Anyone who has seen a recent Moto phone would recognize the camera configuration. It has all the same trademarks: 3 vertically aligned lenses in a color-matched rounded rectangular camera bump, boasting 50 megapixels, one of which is a 2 megapixel depth sensor. But that's about where the similarities end. It downgrades its 50 megapixel main shooter to a more manageable 12.5 megapixel, as do Motorola's G Power and G Stylus, although images from the main shooter are an upgrade from Motorola. They're razor sharp from edge to edge, and the colors are quite accurate. Colors are quite similar between the primary and wide-angle cameras. The wide angle can be a little darker, but that's easily explained by the primary shooter having a bigger aperture. While the 50-megapixel ultra-wide isn't as remarkable as the main shooter, it's evident that it's not an afterthought, as it is on other phones. I would have rather to see a telephoto lens with comparable quality take up the space occupied by the depth sensor. But Motorola is hell-bent on cramming that 2-megapixel camera into as many phones as possible. It's one thing to have good photo performance, but that's just half the story. If you intend to capture video with Edge Plus, you'll have some fairly appealing options. The primary lens has optical image stabilization, which does a good job of smoothing out shaking. The same lens can shoot in 8K 30, HDR10 Plus, in 4K 30, and Full HD at up to 960 FPS. In macro mode, you can even shoot 4K video. The wide receives 4K as well, but none of the nicer features seen on the primary shooter. The selfie camera on the Edge Plus is another standout feature, with the best quality of any of the phone's sensors. Motorola has made it plain that they want you to snap incredible, realistic, maybe too detailed selfies with a 60-megapixel camera, binned down to 15. Not only that, but it can also record in 4K resolution. Let's also take a look at its software, performance, and battery life. Motorola accomplishes one thing consistently well. It lets Android be Android. Moto's software is clean and simple to operate, although bloatware is to be expected if you choose the Verizon model. The Edge Plus includes 3 years of security updates and 2 Android version upgrades. But unlike Moto's current budget products, it arrives with Android 12. Material and simple granular customization of Android's design are also included. Want to modify the form of the app icons? Switch to a 6:5 grid on the home screen, change the text size, and change the menu color to lavender? All of this can be done in a matter of seconds directly from the home screen. The Motorola Edge Plus 2022 is powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, the same high-end processor that powers the Galaxy S22 range. As a consequence, you'll enjoy performance comparable to that of any Android phone. Motorola also doesn't compromise on RAM, packing 12 GB into our evaluation model, making moving between apps a breeze. Motorola's choice of silicon is evident in our Edge Plus benchmarks results. The phone's single-core and multi-core scores were 1,196 and 3,644 respectively. This is somewhat lower than the Galaxy S22 Plus single-core score of 1,214, but higher than the multi-core result of 3,361. It's also better than what you'll find on Android phones powered by Qualcomm's Snapdragon 888 processor from last year. The Edge Plus 2022 features a 4,800 mAh battery, which is comparable to the capacity of most competing handsets, although battery life isn't always determined by size. A variety of factors influence how long a phone's battery lasts, and controlling them all is a delicate ballet that some phone manufacturers are better than others. And if there's one thing Motorola knows how to do, it is to manufacture a long-lasting battery. The Motorola Edge Plus 2022 is said to be a 2-day phone. It's not quite a 1.5-day phone, but it's close. The Edge Plus comfortably sailed through a single day with plenty of juice left over, and it frequently made it to noon the next day without needing to be recharged. That outperforms many of today's best phones, which often require charging at night or first thing in the morning. We also pushed the phone fairly aggressively. We made sure to spend a lot of time with the camera and even use the phone as a mobile hotspot for a bit, in addition to usual smartphone activities like reading, emails, surfing through social networking sites, and watching a lot of YouTube. When putting together the Edge Plus 2022, Motorola made several questionable decisions. The business certainly aims to compete with today's industry leaders, at least in terms of the price of its main product. The Edge Plus is priced similar to many of the market's finest phones. That would be okay if the Edge Plus provided the same high-quality experience as many of those phones. Regrettably, they didn't. The Motorola Edge Plus has several redeeming qualities. The screen is pretty decent, and it is unquestionably comparable to that of rival phones. The battery life is a clear winner, even when it doesn't charge as quickly as others of the phones in the price range. The Edge Plus comfortably outlasts them all. Motorola's Android version is cleaner than others, which means you'll notice less Motorola and more Google in the user interface. You also receive outstanding audio performance whether you use the built-in speakers or Bluetooth. That's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. Goodbye.